Hello and welcome to JPL 30, the highlights show for the Jamaica Premier League. On this episode, we bring you highlights from Matchweek 24. The playoffs are just a few weeks away, and the battle for the top 6 continues to create a buzzing excitement with the playoffs fast approaching. Monday's doubleheader was played at the Ashley 9 Stadium in St. Andrew, Jamaica. First fixture featured a face-off between Arnett Gardens and the Falkland FC. A win could potentially put Arnett back at the top of the league, pending results from Cavaliers' encounter against Waterhouse. Tavane Kerr gets the nod again after scoring against Montego United last week for Falkland, and Arnett Gardens head coach Paul Teagat-Davis starts Fabian Reid, who got the winning goal from off the bench against Dunbeholden over Marlon Allen, who started last game. Here are the highlights. Lance Whitaker and Dwight Jeremiah were the commentary duo that took us through this game.
Let's check out these highlights now. Number 2 Arnett Gardens against number 13 Falkland, and Arnett on the attack from the first 2.5 minutes. Evans to Smith to Reid, and that was 1-0 just before 3 minutes into the game, and Falkland immediately on the back foot as Arnett put the pressure on from the opening whistle. 15 goals on the season for this man, over 70 goals now in Premier League football for him. Arnett continuing to pile the pressure on. Reid would fire this right-footed strike here that didn't go very far from the upright. Arnett very dominant early, and here their second goal would come. Reid pouncing on this one, but the deflection, and Jaheim Thomas, the youngster, is right there to bag his 4th goal of the season. And Arnett taking firmer control of this game. Shanoy Evans from St. Lucia with a long throw, posing a lot of problems there for Falkland. And Arnett enjoying the 2-0 advantage. David Swaby in goal, beaten twice this afternoon. He had an outstanding game because he brought up some very good saves, Swaby. Reid with a header on goal, but wide of the target. Arnett kept the pressure on. Arboin here with a ball right across the box. Good work there from Tyshon Hill, just getting in and snuffing out the Arnett Gardens threat. Paul with a long ball downfield here. Simpson goes up for the header. Oh, excellent turn here from the substitute, Neil Clark, whose right-footed strike crashed off the upright. And Edwards was beaten for sure. The best moment of the match for Falkland. Arnett with another opportunity here with Arboin. Under a lot of pressure here from Michael McLeod. Here's Arboin going free once again. And Swaby has the easy take in the end. Here comes Kelson. Left-footed strike. And rebound high over the crossbar. And here's Deacon with a red card. Second half substitute coming on for Fabian Reid at half time. But he earns a red card from referee Hayden. And Arnett ending the game with 10 men.
Yeah, what I have to say, first I have a thank Father God, you understand? I have a thank my teammate, I have a thank the coaching staff. Yeah, it's a good win today, you understand? One more goal to the tally, yeah. But everything is going good so far, yeah.
I mean, it's always going to be a tough one. We came out, you know that we needed to win, but we conceded again. As I said before, from I took over the team, been trying to work on the defensive principle because we know that we've been conceding, but it's a lot of work in progress basically, and that's where we went down. Second half we came out and you could see where we nullified on it, and we tried getting some goals. We got some chances. We hit the upright and all of that.
It's been a while we haven't come to Montego and win a game. It's nice, because we're fighting this to go to the top of the league, I think they put up a nice show, knowing that they're still in the relegation. They didn't just lie down and play dead, We had to play and take our chances.
In terms of your team's performance today, I could see you remonstrating on the sideline. Despite getting the win, it probably was not the performance that you wanted.
Disappointed.
What disappointed you the most?
We brought this team every time. Every team we play, so to speak, we keep giving away the football, causing pressure on ourselves, I keep saying, the Premier League level, you can't be sharing the football like this. You can't share about it with Real Madrid or Barcelona. They can kill you. You understand? So I think you give too much possession.
Fabian Reid, proving to be the most valuable asset to head coach Paul Teagat-Davis, opens up the scoring for Arnett Gardens with his 15th goal of the season. He now overtakes Trevante Stewart of Mount Pleasant for the second most goal this season and chasing Colin Anderson, who's atop with 16. With that registered loss, Falkland are officially relegated from the Jamaica Premier League 2 match weeks before the end of the regular season. Coming into this encounter, Harbourview occupies 4th spot while having a few teams breathing down their necks. Anything except a win on the night could prove costly for the Stars of the East, with the top 6 ever changing. The usual goal-scoring suspect for Montego United, Alan Otti, scored last week against Falkland. He has a tougher opponent to score against this week. Starting with him up front is Kevon Perry to lead the line against Harbourview, who has a packed starting lineup. Colorado Murray and Krista J. Daly are the main danger up front for coach Ludlow Bernard. Here are the highlights. Lance Whitaker and Dwight Jeremiah were the commentary duo that took us through this game.
FIFA referee O'Shane Nation in charge of this one, and Alan Otti with a chance for Mobe early, but he chooses to slide the ball inside, and O'Shane Staple gets in the way, or Orderland Harding was getting in the way, and preventing the opportunity. Strike from Colorado Murray on the near post, and Byrne equal to the task. Turner loses his balance and the ball, and Colorado Murray snaps up on the opportunity, and with calm precision and composure just places the ball in for the winning goal. Early in the first half this was. Colorado Murray, 6 goals on the season now. Harbourview's leading goal scorer along with Nicholas Hamilton. Harbourview applied a lot of pressure here, just wide of the target, and Mobe under a lot of pressure in this fixture. Otti with an opportunity here again, but a slight defection, and Palmer in the Harbourview goal. He had an easy night. Harbourview's goalkeeper didn't have much to do there. Yeah, and here's where the red card came. Shamari Dar exchanging blows with Alan Otti, and Otti with a retaliatory strike gets the red card, and Dyers with a yellow card. Daly sliding the ball inside here, but Burton does well in goal for Montego Bay United. Moby with an opportunity here, but Captain Navon Turner drags this one wide. Late in the piece, left-footed free kick from Timar Lewis, just brushes the top of the crossbar and goes over. And Montego Bay United beaten here by 1-0 by Harbourview.
Well, I'm very proud. Like, it's a stepping stone for me and also for the club to retain our title and to come in the top 2. So the goal is actually 3 points, to come here and get 3 points and be able to be in the top 2 so we can avoid the quarterfinal and play in the semi-final so we get more rest, you know.
No, it was not a mistake from a goalkeeper, it was from a central defender. Yes. And then after we lost a player with a red card, became difficult. As we know, Harbourview is a very good team, very technical. They started the match putting some pressure over us, but slowly we could start to cope with that, making some runs, and then we suffered that goal. And after that, we lost a player.
Yeah, that was the aim. I think we tiled and labored in the second stanza of the game, you know, but it may be due to a couple of factors. No excuses whatsoever, but I just think that we were a little less ambitious here today in the second half.
Yeah, we saw that in commentary, and we felt Harbourview, for somebody watching, if they didn't count or see that red at the top of the
Yes.
graphics on the screen, wouldn't know that Montego Bay was down to 10.
Yes.
I mean, it seems like there's a lot of work still to do in that final third with
Definitely.
cohesion and decision making as well.
That's correct, and of course some of the principal players who can really do it, they probably weren't on the pitch in the second half when, you know, they were down to 10 and would have had opportunities. They were probably tiring. But then again, I would have expected the substitutes to come and make that kind of delivery because quite a number of them are pretty speedy. You know, I would have expected a little bit more directness from us and really take some chances because as much as Montego Bay would attempt to threaten some of the times, I really don't think that we're going to get him behind our back line, you know, and I think we were just a little bit too timid.
This is highlights from Matchweek 24. We take our first break on our highlights show of the Jamaica Premier League, powered by JPL. When we return, last year's beaten finalists Dunbeholden, still fighting for a playoff spot, goes up against Vere United. Welcome back to JPL 30, the highlight show for the Jamaica Premier League, powered by JPL. To keep their dreams alive, Dunbeholden must register wins in their next 2 fixtures and hope few other results goes their way. But first they face Vere United in the first encounter of Monday night's doubleheader. Let us see how they manage the challenge ahead of them. Dunbeholden's 4-4-2 formation features Nicole Christian, Peter McGregor, Stephen Barnett and former Clarendon College standout Malachi Douglas. While Vere United lacking goal-scoring form, Jason Dyer is in the lineup. What can he offer the Clarendon-based team today? Here are the highlights. Chris Taylor and Lee Williams were the commentary duo that took us through this game.
So the full match highlights. Dunbeholden on the front foot early. Stephen Barnett into the area and Peter McGregor could sort out his feet. And that chance went to begging. Then Vere United came into the game slowly but surely. Lamar Neal from outside the area was a weak shot, but then this was thunderous from some 35 yards out. Keon Henry with a strike, and over the bar Damien Hyatt not bothered in the end. Dunbeholden continuing to come forward. Nicole Christian, who scored a couple blinders already this season, with a strike from outside, forcing Romeo Daniels, the schoolboy, into the save. And then the follow-up effort from Shaquem Powell was wide. Vere with a chance. This was a good chance for Javier Brown, who just couldn't put his header on target. Was aiming to go back across the keeper. Good idea, but not the accuracy. And Dunbeholden escaped. Then Nicole Christian coming forward. This was in the second half. And provided a pass. That should have been a penalty to Dunbeholden. Romeo Daniels taking out Stephen Barnett. And Carvel Banton said no. Second half coming alive. And so did the clouds up above with the rain. Into the area, and this the moment that would open the scoring. Vere United. A lovely ball from the wide areas from Javier Brown in an unusual position for him. This time it was quality, and it found the teenager Dunstan Cohen, who provided that for Dyer. 2 goals on the season for Jason Dyer, and after 57 minutes, Vere were away. Then a chance for his 4th in the league this season. And he has had so many. Peter McGregor, and that chance went to begging with Romeo Daniels out of position. Then Stephen Williams with his Rowan Brown just coming on as a substitute, his first touch of the game, and he was just wide. But then look at this, fine-tuning his finishes. The pass from Akimo Jones, the finish from Brown to the near post. Daniels was down but couldn't get to it. Look at this, that's an excellent finish from Rohan Brown after 67 minutes. His 2nd of the season. And Dunbeholden, just like that, we're all square. Then this opportunity for McGregor, the first. But they were sending out the warning signals to Vere. They didn't heed and kept on making defensive mistakes. Then Rohan Brown driving in the area. Maybe a bit fortuitous that a foul wasn't given. That was certainly a foul there from Blackwood, wasn't it? Not given. Fletcher didn't care. He had the strike again towards the near post, and Romeo Daniels, well, slightly unsighted, and would be very disappointed that he didn't get down quicker to execute that save. Not to take anything away from Fletcher. Quite a bit of power behind it, off the upright and back in back of the net. 2-1 after 80 minutes. Dunbeholden ahead and keeping their playoff chances alive. They wanted to make sure though, Dunbeholden, and they continued to push forward. Ricardo Thomas into the area. Blackwood battling hard with the strike, saved by Daniels, but into the business area, and Rohan Brown was alert to it. His 2nd brace. 1 in the Link Cup, now 1 in the league. 3 goals on the season for Rohan Brown, and Dunbeholden seal a 3-1 victory with that finish. Well done, Brown. And Vere blown away in the second half by Dunbeholden.
Yeah, it feels good to come off the bench and score a double to get the equalizer and the brace. So it's a good feeling.
Once you came onto the field, immediately you showed a lot of intensity to really make things happen for your team. What were the instructions of your coach coming on?
My coaches told me that I need to go out there and get few goals, not one but few goals, and I did just that.
Well, as you can see, from the get-go, we were, playing really good, and of course, Dunbeholden score, we get back and equalize, and we in the game for the most part, toe-to-toe with them, but of course, sometimes the referee are going to have a good day, sometimes are going to have a bad day, and today I one of those days where the referee just have a bad day.
Well, I mean, we started very slow, but we started the game with one aim in mind, and it's to win. So irrespective of where it would have taken us, we just wanted to win, and the substitute helped us, and we are grateful for that. Every player is very important to us, and we're happy that the substitutions, actually impacted the game.
It's becoming a running theme actually for your substitutes to come on, impact the game, score goals. I'm sure that really bodes really well for you and your coaching staff.
Definitely. As I always said, we believe in every single player. So once you are selected to play, you're very important to us. And as long as they carry out the instruction, we are very confident that they will do it for us.
Dunbeholden are up for the challenge. Rohan Brown and Javon Fletcher from off the bench scores a brace and an 80-minute strike, respectively, to give Dunbeholden the 3 points. Jason Dyer breaks for United goal-scoring drought after 3 match weeks. We take our final break and return with Mount Pleasant and the Chapleton Maroons, one trying to secure a playoff spot and the other is already relegated. Welcome back. On Monday night's curtain closer, Mount Pleasant seeks to devour Chapleton Maroons as the last 3 teams the already relegated team faced did. Mount Pleasant having all to play for, Chapleton will try to avenge their pride. Despite no Trevante Stewart, Mount Pleasant's leading goal scorer, Coach Whitmore still sends out a pretty strong team. Atafaroy Bygrave leads the line and he has Devontae Campbell for company, while leading the lines for Chapleton Maroons is the former William Neighbour standout striker, Mark Lewis. Here are the highlights. Chris Taylor and Leger Williams were in the commentary box.
So the full match highlights. And from start to finish, it was a team in blue and white. Ricardo Morris coming forward into the wide area. Kimani Campbell. It was deflected out to Atafoy Bygrave and he made no mistake. After 16 minutes, Mount Pleasant were ahead. Bygrave with the instinctive finish. Back into the business area from Plunkett. That was his error. But it was a quality delivery by Kimani Campbell. And Bygrave off the mark in this one, his 4th of the season. 1-0 Mount Pleasant. Then more errors at the back. Look at that from Evan Taylor. You just can't do that for someone so senior. Ricardo Morris, nice build-up play to Bailey. The flick from a tough one. Oh, that was lovely. And then Dwight Merrick, well, he probably had the easiest job of all. Just to tap it into the back of the net. Lovely flick. And he couldn't miss from there, could he, Dwight Merrick? His 3rd of the season. And Mount Pleasant 2-0 to the good. '39th minute finish for Dwight Merrick. It would go to the half at 2-0. This, one of the last opportunities of the first half. Malik Stevens with a strike. It was deflected off the back of Ricardo Morris and out for a corner. Shaquan Davis not taking any chances. And then on to the second half. And Mount Pleasant continued their press. And the Chapleton Maroons just couldn't manage it. Osana Ricketts here, this was a poor pass. It came to Kimoni Bailey. The pass to Ricardo Morris. It was a simple finish for the 31-year-old. Adding his 6th of the season and the 3rd for Mount Pleasant. in this performance. Evan Taylor looking to play a 1-2 with Ricketts, and it went all wrong for Ricketts. The finish though was well composed. Plunkett forced to commit, and Ricardo Morris just slipped it. 3-0, 51 minutes gone. Then this moment, another mistake at the back. Bailey again, another assist for him. 3 he had on the evening, and this was a nice pass to Bygrave. Look at the strength from Bygrave and the pace. And yeah, a quality finisher is Atafaroy Bygrave, and he just knew how to get it past Plunkett. Bailey had a really good game, some skill to go with it, and this was a nice pass. 2 former Dunbeholden players, and Bygrave as usual finding that far triangle for his second finish of the game. And that made it 4. He had the celebration to go with it. Oh, the flips were back. That's a 10 out of 10 for Atafaroy Bygrave. We remember them from last season when he was a leading goal scorer with 13, and they have come back. He's enjoying his football, and Mount Pleasant were enjoying this fixture. Then Shandek James coming on as a substitute. He found Bygrave again. On to the left side, and then the finish with the left foot. The first hat-trick in his Premier League career. Atafaroy Bygrave, great skill, and the finish to the near post. Had Plunkett leaning the wrong way. It's a from their number 50. And yeah, 4 turned 5. And then after 5 comes 6. Shandek James, great skill through the legs of Evan Taylor. It then came, who had an earlier chance that he didn't convert, made no mistake this time, and opened his account for this season. And unable to do much about it. Campbell with his first 6 it was, and Mount Pleasant weren't finished yet. Shandek James with his second assist to Devontae Campbell. He didn't need a touch, but the one to finish. This time with the left boot from the angle into the far corner. 2 quality finishes for the Mount Pleasant. Completed a thorough beating of the Maroons, 7-0 after 90 minutes.
Well, the team performance was a good performance. We go out there, follow the coach instruction. He says it's gonna be an easy game, but you know, we want the goals, so we just push forward.
You say we want the goals. You took a lot of them for yourself. A hat-trick for you here, your first Premier League hat-trick. How do you feel about your performance?
Well, I feel great about my performance. It's my first Premier League hat-trick, so I tell myself, so I want to push forward to get this hat-trick. And the coach told me, hey, it's gonna come, so just relax and keep your composure, and that I do.
Well, I mean, as you know, our situation, so it's very hard for us to really motivate them to really put on a good show against this good Mount Pleasant team. So it is what it is.
But a couple of positive performances, especially from Stevens. What did you tell your attacking players when they went out there?
I mean, we have a plan to really attack Mount Pleasant down the wing and things like that. And for portion of a game, we did that, and then all of a sudden, you know, everything just went down the road.
Well, I think first and foremost, I think we kept a clean sheet this afternoon. For the last 2 games, we've been finding goal. We've been doing a lot of shooting practice, you know, a lot of set pieces, because we are at the back end of the season. I think that's gonna count. So no surprise this afternoon to see goals coming.
Results from the non-televised matches are Mullines United edged Tivoli Gardens 4-3, Humberline held Portmore United to a 1-1 draw, and Waterhouse clipped Cavalier by a 0-0. Arnett Gardens are back on the top of the league, Cavalier occupying second automatic spot, Mount Pleasant, Harbourview, Humberline and Waterhouse occupying third, fourth, fifth and sixth position respectively. This has been JPL in 30 on SportsMax. Tune in next week for Matchweek 25 highlights of the Jamaica Premier League, powered by Digicel.